my Minecraft TU1 tutorial world replica for quite some time now. It does still need some extra work, but just like many people playing Minecraft, as much as I'd love to finish my current project, I've been tempted by a new one because I recently saw a excavated trail ruins and just thought, that's a really cool thing. I want that somewhere in my world, and so yeah, I'm going to now move on to that in the inevitable stage of Minecraft project to project jumping. This is an important thing. I do need to come back to it, but I'll do so after today's fun little project, which I should also mention, just as a fun little side note here, yeah, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the idea, you know, like people ask me why you get philosophical in these videos, like why is that something that your brain kind of defaults to when you're playing Minecraft for long sessions, and I think it's interesting that many people don't. Like, surely you can't help but be curious about, like, why is it that some things are incredibly interesting and, you know, like, make you want to draw your attention there, and some things aren't? How can you not be at least slightly curious about what it is that makes you jump from thing to thing? If you assume it's purely random, then yeah, great, but otherwise there is some underlying principle that is guiding you from point to point in life, and don't you think it's worth analyzing, examining, questioning in some way exactly what that is? I think it is, and so that's precisely why, you know, when I've got some time with some Minecraft, I think it's something worth talking about. By the way, hello, I'm ibxtoycat. This is literally just Minecraft. It's a series on the channel, or rather literally just X, you might want to call it, but it's a series on the channel where basically I have, you know, lots of Minecraft that is covered on YouTube, cuts out all the nitty gritty, and by cuts out I mean, and realistically in some cases, skips it all in favor of some creative solution instead, but real survival takes real time in a lot of cases, and rather than skipping it over, I like to show a lot of that time via this series. And while we do so, let's have a little bit of a chat, because I could talk about the blocks we're going to place. I've got 3 full shulker boxes, I've got a pickaxe, and I've got another pickaxe. We could just talk about these things all day, every day, and that would be fine, I'm sure. But yeah, I personally, you know, I feel like sometimes the mind wanders. But for first things first, hello. You gotta do the intro. You know, like one of the weird things about Deep Talk is a lot of people like it, but also they want a smoother introduction. It's an interesting thing about like deep human relationships is I think a lot of people say they want them, and honestly a lot of people do genuinely want like a deeper human connection, but it's weird when you have someone that just jumps into it. So I'll do the pleasantries. How's your day been going? Mine's been going pretty well. My year has started pretty good so far. I got some big news recently. I know I had my first big shock of 2024 maybe. But I've also been, for the most part, like, just I feel like I finally structured out my days in a way that has been helping me. The great thing about a new year, like, New Year's are sometimes depressing. It means the end of something, but like with anything else in life, it's also the start of something brand new. Why do you burn when you can't react to it? It's one of the weirdest things about switching dimensions in Minecraft. Big problem with it. But yeah, so we're gonna now go to the part of my world where all of the trail ruins are. I'm gonna go excavate one because yeah, right now also we live in a society. My philosophical constitution says KD. You know, we do live in a society. It's funny because it's a really underappreciated thought. Even though people meme on the idea that we live in a society, so much of what you actually think comes down to like, well, you know, on the one hand, this is how I feel. On the other hand, well, we live in a society, so, you know, oh, no. Okay, I'm trapped. Okay, chat, I'm gonna die. No, I'm not. Okay. Ooh, that was bad. That was really... Why do I have a random hole that I can fall into and almost die? That is bad design, I am going to go ahead and say. Why do I have that there? Okay, so let's just patch that right up. Let's just pretend that none of that is there. Everything is okay. Nothing bad is happening. And we're all gonna pretend that that's how things are. Gee, wait, you know, honestly, lava in the nether, one of the worst things, have to say. Anyway, we live in a society where ibxtoycat refuses to board up 2x1 holes filled with lava. Yeah, if you haven't actively fallen in the lava, then is it worth fixing the hole? I would say potentially not. That was left by past you. Wow, past me sure did make that future me's problem. I hate that guy for doing that. We live in a society, almost killed you. I should know better than to talk about politics in the nether. We all know that living in society shouldn't be political, but actually kind of is. There are lots of people that are like, well, I mean, actually, by, you know, consuming under the system we live in. You're actually supporting genocides and dictatorships and all that noise. And it's funny to describe it as all that noise when it's definitely a lot more than just noise to the people who care about these things. But also, I'm not actually sure this is the right way to go for all of my... I know my end portals are over here, but I feel like somewhere to the left is where all of my trail ruins are. And I thought I signposted it really well, but I'm starting to learn that might not be the case. Okay, I'm gonna guess that I go all the way to the right here, and that I'll find my trail ruins somewhere in this direction. Okay, there's a nether fortress. It's not a familiar nether fortress. This isn't familiar either. This is all unfamiliar, chat. I thought I had a trail ruins, but I'm gonna have to go find it now. One of the beautiful things about having a big world is getting lost around it. I think good signposting is something I've been thinking about recently about, like, yeah, if you want to realistically being understanding with yourself that you will forget things is one of the best things you can do. But yeah, so like I was saying, so it's a new year. One of the things I've been trying to do to kind of really I know, like, a new year is a great opportunity to have something brand new start, and so I've been trying to just be a bit more organized with myself. If only for the sake of, like, tracking how much time I actually spend on things. I think part of that is, like, kind of like gratitude. It's really important to understand how much you do for yourself in certain ways. And so just having basic tracking of, like, how long do I spend working, for example? It's a nebulous question. I don't know the answer. Some days it feels like it's, you know, like all day, every day. And other days I'm like, well, you know, like it's like a normal-ish job. So, like, which one of those two things is it actually? Having the data to... Also, I'm so lost, chat. I thought it was somewhere over here. I thought I had a nether portal that would take me to a trail ruins. And I know I do somewhere, but I have no idea where. I'll find it. It's fine. Great. I love maps, but they absolutely kill the world file size. Yeah, they very, very hefty decision to make a map, that's for sure. One of the best things... Okay, so let's fly up here. It's gotta be up here, right? How am I so lost in my own nether? This is fine. This is great. Sometimes I consider, like, oh yeah, should I, like, run things through before I start a stream? And I'm like, nah. Which is why being organized is great. You should do more videos looking at houses on the third channel. In my opinion, they're great. Oh, good news. I've got on the third channel I just recorded something about property in London. It's about parking spaces for sale. You might enjoy it. I think it'll probably be a short, but yeah, I really do. I think it's fun personally. Anyway, speaking of things I think are fun, this is going nowhere. My trail ruins is in the nether somewhere, but I am not going to find it today. Rather, my trail ruins is a portal in the nether somewhere, but I cannot find it, so I'm just gonna go home. I'm just gonna say, whoopsie, I forgot where my trail ruins portal was, which is fine. You know, some would say, off to a bad start. Others would say, you know what, Toycat, actually, isn't this a lesson? If you can't find the location of the next project you want to do, shouldn't that be a reminder that you should stick to the thing that you just said that you were, you know, passing off in favor of doing something new? Isn't this a reminder about why, you know, things that you already know are consistent and great? And you know what? Let's try and let's make a positive message out of this. Let's say, yeah, actually, that is really cool. And so let's go all the way home. It's going to cost me a lot of fireworks because the Nether's a big place. But let's go home. Screw it. Also, thank you, Nick Bob. So glad to watch you stream live. I've been watching the Let's Play and to get up to date and just got into building the legendary brick house. Cat taxes paid. Happy New Year, man. Thank you for the Happy New Year. I really do intend to make 2024 a good one. I think I had this fort recently, and it's the least unique fort in the world at this point. Also, look, there's some flowing bedrock, chat. This is something you can only get via weird bedrock, or rather console to bedrock, world conversion issues. So it's fun to just see them hanging around here. But, yeah, by the way, I feel like I'm trying to use... Everyone says this, but 2020, you know, through 2020, even 2 in a lot of cases, they're just dead years. You think like, oh yeah, I last did this so recently, and it's like, no, I last did it in 2018. Like, there's just a big period of collective, I don't know, amnesia almost. And yeah, you know, okay, chat. This was my reminder. I couldn't find the portal that I was sure was there. We're gonna work on this project. I'm using that as my motivation to go strong and to get this done. I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be great. You can try and find a new trail ruins. That way it wouldn't be partially damaged from previous excavations. I don't want to find any more trail ruins until after 12050 or 12060. Because I do want to have a real attached trail ruins. Which might be the best time to actually excavate. Sure. Yeah, let's wait till the update comes out. By the way, I've got this peanut butter milk stout today. And peanut butter milk sounds delicious, and then until you read that last word and you think, is this a dwarf's drink? Am I gonna go in the mines with it? The answer is, I wish I was just going into the mines. So I'm gonna grab a whole shulker box full of dirt, and there were some other resources that I needed. I think there was some wood that was on the to get list, and if we grab both of those things and then get back over there, we can make a serious difference. We can bring some sponges even, and like actually dry out the area. Or some signs. We could do some pretty interesting stuff with that. Yeah, maybe if I put some fences up or like a wall. Yeah, it'd have to be signs, I think. You'd have to do something really interesting with signs. So let's go ahead and grab some wood. I have a bunch of it stored in this chest. Or by a bunch, I mean like some amount. And yeah, we've got a regular chest with us from the Let's Play episode. Peanut butter milk sounds invented to weed out of all the people who are lactose intolerant and peanut allergies. You know, peanut allergies. I heard someone say once that like, oh yeah, peanut allergies are actually a thing that people are making worse by ignoring. And I just assumed it was like, it hit my instincts so well that like, yeah. In general, people avoid the things they're not good with, and so they don't get good at the things they're not good with, making a brutal cycle. I've said this about, you know, like social anxiety a lot, is, yeah, maybe I'm saying this as someone who like has a natural phobia of human beings, but yeah, like being phobic of, you know, being scared of a unfamiliar situation is the very definition of being human. Like people who are like, oh yeah, I can't do this thing because I have this problem. It's like, well, you're making your problem worse by not doing this thing because you have the problem. It's a big loop. And one of the things I learned is that that's how peanut butter, well, rather peanut allergies work recently. And it's an interesting, you know, like ignoring the science behind why that's true. Like let's just, you know, because there are a lot of allergies you should not test. Also, what just happened? Oh, okay. This is fine. I have no idea how. Here is where I've ended up. Every time you go through a new portal, you end up with a new issue, but that's fine. We're gonna go to sleep in my classic TU-31 house. Have you guys seen this house? I've actually got two. I haven't shown you this one in a while. So the windows are designed like Tetris pieces. No, I think it's very good. And inside, you can see it's there's a little bit of a pool in here. One of the classic lakes. A couple of donkeys. I love a good bit of arse in my house. And then we got the bed over here. How nice. That also happened to be in a realm, so there's Nets Minecraft. Yeah, it's a very bizarre issue. And then here is my roof, which you can stand on, and then there's a dark oak tree. And then on my tree, my house made out of dark oak, there's a savannah tree. I like this personally. I love the Tetris house. I think if you're ever worried about like, oh, an iron ingot. I don't need the iron ingot, but it's nice to have. If you ever do get like worried about making something and something about like high expectations or like seeing enough of people's stuff and being like, wow, they make such good things, sometimes can lead people in any form of art to be like, oh, everyone else is so good, what's the point of me doing anything? But I sometimes think like, well, if you ever get worried that you're making something that's just a worse version of something out there, make something more unique. This is the whole thing about, you know, I do believe that so much in life is about finding your voice. And people say that all the time, and I've never really understood, like, well, I know where my voice is, I'm using it right now. But, like, genuinely, like, you don't know who you are, what it is that makes you you, a lot of the time. And that's really bizarre to think about, but it is actually true that you don't know what makes... Also, I've got some purple carpet here. I'm not sure what to do with it. I'm thinking of placing it underwater or something, maybe. But also, I needed stone. I needed a lot of stone. It's only when I get here that I immediately remember what it is that I need. But yeah, now let's grab the dirt. And let's, yep, we got some dirt here. And let's make this a little bit wider. We need a tiny bit of gravel, a few leaves. They can all be sorted. For now, Also, should I get some doors on these houses? I think the houses definitely need doors. It's going to be a bit weird to use an underwater door, but, you know, what isn't weird these days? Also, I'm definitely at crossroads trying to find myself. It's not very pleasant right now, honestly, says Xavier. Yeah, it's the, to truly, you know, like to actually be honest with yourself and is, you know, trying to find yourself is hard. Trying to understand yourself is hard. One of the hardest things to do is to be in tune with you. With everyone else, you can simplify down in a way that you know, like you just assume like, well, they wouldn't mind this. Like, you know, this person is like that. People almost give you like handy little guides and like, here is how you simplify me down to the point where I'm not even a person, but I'm a fictional concept. And you kind of accept that, like, oh yeah, this is Brandy. They're so quirky. They like parties and good times. It's like, oh, what a unique set of characteristics Brandy has over there. Also, I think I'm gonna have to get on the outside to make sure we do this house. There we go. Look at that. It's the ugliest house I've seen in a very long time. But this is it's, you know, I've got to recreate the tutorial, so I'm gonna do it. It looks fine, I think. I have joined the communist Big Salmon community. Welcome, Frog in a Minecart. But yeah, being honest with yourself about who you are is really, really hard. Because, you know, like, the easiest person to lie to is yourself. When you lie to other people, you can tell if they're not quite believing it. But you know when you're believing your own lies, right? And so, also, why are these stairs upside down? Why are they slabs? I'm just gonna ignore that, and we're gonna hope that no one even notices. Why are they slabs? It's a very good question, I think. So I'm gonna make some doors now as well. I think we're gonna make like a healthy number of doors. 6 seems like a good amount. And then we'll make a healthy number of stairs as well. There's always need for more stairs. So now we can place the door down. And look at that, we've got a fully functioning house. It's slightly underwater. I could probably get some sponges in here so the houses aren't underwater, it's just outside the houses. I think that'd be fun to look at. Even if it doesn't make any sense, like, logically, I think I would like to see it. But remember when 6 planks crafted 1 door? You know, remember when 6 planks crafted 4 stairs instead of 6? That was an insane time to live in. Imagine if that was true. Yeah, I think this was so deep, was feeling down, but didn't realize how bad it was. Ironically helping. Yeah, if you, so to actually get through this, it's like, if hypothetically, right? If you're there and you're you know, you're trying to convince yourself that, like, yeah, you're a really good person. You'll use some metrics that you found somewhere else. Like, well, good people think all the time about this. But actually, sometimes, like, you know, the understanding yourself is understanding, like, oh yeah, I need to prioritize this in my life, or I don't feel happy, and then I don't do good things. Like, understanding your, like, I don't know, if you think of yourself as, like, I am some divine being, I am always good to all people all of the time, then you'll disappoint yourself when you realize you're not a divine being and that you do all sorts of terrible things. Whereas if you're more reasonable with your expectations on yourself, then very quickly, also, I think wood is based on which direction you place on the block. I don't know why there are 2 sets of rules for this, but yeah, it's based on that. So if I want to have this wood be there, I need to place the windows or the cobblestone first. I'll place it here and over here. And then over here and there. Boom. And now we can make the roof. I think the roof on the top is a bunch of layers of this. So that goes all the way over there. And we'll do the same over here. Just full house. Nice and easy. Simple. And now we just got to go place all of the stairs. And once we've done that, I think, yeah, drainage is probably going to be the next big part of this project. Also, I've never done terrible things. Zero. You've definitely been less than ideal in some places, though, I bet. But yeah, understanding what it is that makes you nice and good will help you out a lot. Being realistic and reasonable with yourself usually trumps being, you know, over the top crazy of yourself. But, you know, your mileage may vary. Maybe you are just a bad person. Even then, I think understanding, like, oh yeah, well, you should try to do it in a way that doesn't affect people would be better than... I'm kind of diving into morality a bit early. I think the more general part of finding yourself is being like, oh yeah, so what is it that... What is the thing that you want to present to the world? What is the the value that you think other people would see in you. Also, I think there's a whole layer of stone that's just missing on these houses. It's fine. We'll just put them. If we remove this wood here, which I can very easily do, then we'll just paste the cobblestone on top, and no one will even notice. But yeah, so I think a lot of finding yourself is really kind of working out what it is that is you under there, and you know, what it is that makes you good to people, what it is that makes you bad, what it is that makes you, you know, like happy, what it is that makes you sad, what it is that you want to present to the world is a really big one. One of the things that annoys me is someone who I don't really like, I don't get fashion, I guess I would say. Like, I've slowly, you know, through my 20s, I can just about understand the pure basics, but it's ridiculous to me that, like, anyone is expected to just understand fashion on any level. It's like, no, there's a silly set of rules that people make up so that people know when people are following the rules and therefore care about the rules, and when people aren't following the rules and therefore don't care. It's a silly arbitrary system. And why don't we all just admit, like, okay, what if we wore clothes that look good? But the problem is, what looks good is kind of a much deeper social question. Also, I can't leave that wood here without messing up the rest of this. So what I'm gonna have to do is just move this somewhere else. Yeah, let's just put it somewhere that isn't here. That should be easy to do. We'll place a fence over here. In fact, we probably don't even need that in general. I think an extra post would be good, but we just don't need the extra post. We'll place the torches on this here. No one will even notice. So in an ideal world, people just wear the clothes they like. See, but that's the thing, right? To try and talk about something that I genuinely came up for an angle of, like, this is just people making up rules so that they can justify invalidating people who don't like these rules. I think a big part of it is saying, like, yeah, well, how do you know, when you're trying to, wearing clothes to an average person is like, oh, that person looks good in that, or that person doesn't look good, that person looks comfortable, that person looks uncomfortable, or, you know, some weird set of rules like that. But to someone who really notices the things, there's a lot more. And what it's really signaling deeper down than any of that is something like, oh yeah, well, these clothes are very functional, and therefore they indicate that I work in a job where I need to be practical. These clothes are very non-functional, so they indicate I work here. These clothes indicate that I can have a lot of someone's time spent on you know, like things that I wear. Also, do you believe in wearing one stock instead of two around your house is better for you? I've never heard that anywhere in my life before, but, you know, I'd be open to understanding why one sock is better than two. I have never heard that, though. I like it, though. But, yeah, so, like, you know, like, that's an example of, like, a system with many things built below it. And that's kind of socially. But, like, on an individual level, there are lots of things like that, too. Like, you think that you really, really like, you think you really, really like, I don't know, for example, jokes. You love comedy. You love laughing. And it's like, yeah, because that's because I like, or, you know, you like laughing at people. Maybe you like dark humor, and you're like, oh yeah, so I just like mean humor, maybe. And it's like, well, that's probably not what you're actually after. You're not like, oh yeah, I like when it makes people sad. There's probably a weird side effect. Maybe what you actually like is you like the humor that addresses real things in the world as opposed to pretending things are happy, cheery. There seems to be a big difference in the world between people who like really safe, clean humor, because they're like, yeah, well, the world is this great, safe place. Why are people ruining it with their mean words? And people who are like, yeah, anything goes in the world of humor. It depends on how real your life tends to be. I think there are all these sorts of things inside of you that take a bit of, like, uncovering. I would say, I don't know, I was a very introverted person to try and discuss myself, as hard as that is to do objectively. I would describe myself as, like, I would have described myself as an introverted person for most of life. And still, it's pretty true. Like, I have to recover after, like, something social, to be totally frank with you. But at the same time, you know, I would have gone a step further and said, yeah, no, I'm fully misanthropic. I do not enjoy spending substantial amounts of time around people. I need to, you know, like, I think humans are so bad in so many ways. And you know, but to be fair, I wouldn't be inaccurate if I said that. Humans are terrible in lots of ways, right? But I would stop short of saying, yeah, well, humans are the worst. Humans deserve to go extinct. You know, some people take that to like an extreme level where they're like, yeah, well, I've worked out that humans are intolerable in these certain circumstances, and therefore I hate all people all the time. It's like, yeah, it's probably going a bit far, I reckon. Probably something more like there are lots of people to whom you find it hard to be around. Which, you know, when you dive into that a bit more, it's like, why is it hard for you to be around lots of people? And one of the things that I think is like hard for me to accept, but I think I probably would, is like, yeah, actually, I think lots of people, you know, are hard to be around for me, and therefore maybe I am hard to be around myself. You know, maybe that's something you should actually start considering. It's something I definitely think about as like, okay, so then maybe if you don't like being around people because it's part of you, like, is there something that you're doing every time? And it's like, well, actually, yeah. What is it that makes people? What is it that people enjoy being around more? How do you emulate some of that in yourself, as opposed to thinking about the problem as being solely the world's? When you start to think about it as being maybe partially yours, it might be that it's not your problem at all. You know, I'm not going to say that it is, but the more you start to wonder if a problem is yours, the better of a response you have. Also, I think I'm going to destroy some stone now, so I can get some cobblestone. I don't know where to destroy some stone, but I just need a few blocks of cobblestone, and I can't find any on me anywhere. The easiest way would be taking a diamond pickaxe and destroying a, you know, also, I've got a lot of dirt here that has to be filled in, but having a diamond pickaxe, destroying some area leading up to a trail ruin would help that, but I've concluded that's impossible, so I'll stick to this. But I just realized that it wouldn't work on Java. Also, some old-fashioned rules based on human customs and politeness put some fashion trends. Some fashion trends are basically made up by rich people to sell more stuff. Okay, can we talk about Stanley Cups, internet? I'm going to ask your permission. You know, I don't want anyone to be like, oh. And by the way, I mean the brand, not the thing. Do you mind? Can we have a little chitty chatty? Also, Toycat, did you enjoy the recent realm review? Yeah, actually. I got so many more realms than usual, though. I don't know what to do with it. I feel like I've got to make a whole second one or something. Hey, thank you, Ghost, for becoming the 463rd channel member. Thank you for bringing us closer to our 500 member goal. We've never hit 500 members organically, you know, not counting gifted members. Technically speaking, if you don't count the fact that they're immediately cancelled, I've got like 700 members right now, but they, you know, like it immediately drops down after all the trial thing runs out, which is, it's fun still. Also, hyper consumerism, you mean? So yeah, I mean, okay, so I'm not going to blame the consumers for, maybe I should blame the consumers, but I think that the Stanley, the tumblers that store cold liquids in, I think that they are a really interesting example of, just, you know, in my humble opinion, I think that they're a really interesting example of consumerism, but also of how items aren't just worth a certain amount because they display something, that they can be worth a certain amount because of bizarre, you know, corporate marketing. And because, you know, like a lot of people would look at again, if you don't know, it looks like this, but it's like metal, and they're really good at insulating. It's what's the word, a vacuum cup. They have, it's insulated. It uses the basic principle that the more you insulate heat, the more hot drinks can stay hot, and the longer cold drinks can stay cold. It's something that every single cup out there exists. However, you might have seen people are fighting over these. You know, they cost hundreds of you know, dollars to get your hands on them. And wow, why would people spend hundreds on something that is effectively just a cup, just a little sippy cup? And the answer is, you know, like some people would blame it and say, oh yeah, well they're just stupid. Objectively, that's not worth this much. And that is my instinct. I do think that someone in the marketing department, or maybe it genuinely could be purely organic, but someone in a marketing department somewhere, most likely, has gotten a very good raise because of what they've done for this company. Also, I'm going to remove those leaves. They're not necessary there anymore. I don't know what block should go in its place, but that just doesn't feel right, so let's do that. Yeah, that looks a bit nicer. It feels like that should be wood, though. I'm designing all these houses slightly differently, and by the end of it, we'll know exactly which house is best. But so yeah, there's a if you have not heard somehow, there are some very expensive cups that you can buy if you would like to. And these very expensive, oh, so there's guardians attacking me. These very expensive cups are basically a fashion status symbol because they show they are being fought over. They're going for hundreds on eBay, etc. And the reason behind that is because people believe that if you get one, you're getting a rare and limited item. And my instinct is to say, well, it's not a rare and limited item. There's so many cups. I bought. This isn't the same, but you know, like I have. You can drink out of so many containers, and I'll tell you what. I pulled this out of the fridge half an hour ago. It's some sparkling iced tea from Belgium. I've got a Belgian friend. He was very nice and bought me some. The iced tea is still cold, even though I took it out of the fridge half an hour ago. But you know, obviously, like. The actuality is it's special because it's particularly well insulated, but not actually compared to other brands. So why are people spending so much money on it? Is it because we're all ridiculous? Well, ignoring that these people probably could do some decent self-reflection of their own behest, because that definitely is true. If we just leave that to the side for a second, I think there is a value that is being produced for those people in that you can have something that feels limited and unique. Something that we're all after, and you know, from fashion trends, like Hexateran is saying, but something that we're all kind of after in the world that people are very, very happy to capitalize on is something that makes us unique. You know, like, we're all unique human beings, just like everyone else is. The fun point that like, people like to say. But, you know, like, we would all love to feel a little unique in the world. It kind of sucks that you don't feel unique. Also, thank you, Flor Santucci. I don't know how to say your name. If you give me a guide, I'd love to hear it. But Flor Santucci. It's got to be Santuki. It could be Santuki, I guess. Floor Santuki, thank you for becoming the 464th channel member. Getting us closer towards the 500 member goal. But yeah, it's ultimately you're buying something to make you feel unique. It's bizarre when you think about, again, when you think about it in this context, it's like, yes, I will buy the mass-produced cup that is made of steel that looks exactly like these other cups. I will buy this cup because it makes me feel unique. But actually, when you see all the, you know, internet influencing online, when you see people fighting over them in, what was it, Target, when you see that and then you get one for yourself, you're like, oh, these aren't just easy to get. The trend in the olden days used to be being able to produce something en masse time and time again. Like, I have found the best tea in the world, and I will sell it to you, and if you want to come back next week, I will have it then too. That used to be the real sticking point in sales, is, wow, I found somewhere I can reliably get this thing that I really like. But nowadays, the thing that is much more convincing as a sales point is if you can say, yeah, actually, what I've gone and done, also, I have a lovely image of this tutorial I like to use. But yeah, people will love to have something that's like, yeah, this isn't easy to get. You have to spend a lot of money, or realistically, you need to go somewhere at the right time. You have to wake up early for these. And even if you like, you know, when people see those videos and they see people have done that, no one wants to wake up at 4 AM and wait in a line for hours to get some special cup. But then when they see the regular version, they're like, oh, this one is special because I saw it in the special thing. And so, wow, look at me. I'm getting me a special cup, and all I had to do is wait in a bit of a line. That sure is incredible. And boom, the whole thing repeats. It seems, you know, you can be, this might sound cynical, but it's effective marketing when a company convinces you that something they make literally millions of is special and unique, just like you. But it is something we all need to feel. It's a weakness in our collective psyches. I'm sure mine included. One of the, you know, like, try and, you know, I can make fun of this concept all I like, but one of the things that, like, actually, you know, like, actually makes me go, like, oh, what is it that I do? Is, for example, every now and then someone will be like, oh, Toycat, I used to love your videos so much, you know, I love your lovely world or something, and they're like, oh, this whole praise someone is making is because they have forgotten, they have mixed me up with someone else. Not only is it that this person has not liked my stuff? But actually, they look at it and they say, it's so forgettable, it's basically the same as this other person's. That to me is like wild, but is also kind of understandable. Like, I try to, again, when you take your feelings at face value and you get really defensive and be like, oh yeah, well the reason I feel bad is because that person's stupid. But actually, you know, like take a step back and say, well, one of the things that people used to be real hard on making fun of Minecraft for. It's like, haha, Minecraft, that's a game for children, I think you'll find. Like, it used to be a very, very serious point amongst many people to be like, yeah, it's the game that only people of a certain age can enjoy. I have no idea where that ever came from, because it's kind of ridiculous, because it would be adults exclusively saying it. No children ever will say something as a children's game. You know, like, kind of the unique thing is, like, every child likes to be like, yeah, I think that 8-year-olds are so lame, but 10-year-olds, we're the coolest. And then you get to 12 and you're like, 10-year-olds are so lame. But 12-year-olds, we're the ones who really get it. And so, you know, to a certain extent, you can chase that through life and say, well, you know, if you thought that last year's hyped up product that is now mass market was cool, well, let me tell you about these cups. You can put them in your car and they keep things cold. And they're really cool, unlike everything else that's been cool. Like, it's a human trend to be like, things from the past are dumb and things from the future, things from right now are the best. And also there's a raid I've got to deal with. Should I deal with the raid, internet? I should deal with the raid. I'm going to deal with the raid. I have to remember, after I've dealt with the raid, to get some stone and to get the other resource I was coming back for. A little bit of wood, maybe? Yeah, a little bit of wood, but mostly... there was a resource I needed, and I've forgotten already. Sponges. Sponges and wood. We'll grab a few pieces of wood, and we'll grab some sponges. And we'll also kill a raid. A nice 1-2, bang. Also, oh no, they've broken into the village. I don't like when they do that. Very bad when they do that. I have some inventory slots to spare, so I can just go out and kill some villagers, and hope that they don't make it through here. I don't think the rest of them will, though. I built a big wall around my village, specifically for this reason. It does a very good job, generally speaking. Pro tip, build walls around your villages. It works very, very well. Yeah, can you go, Q to get me a special cup, please? You know what, can you Q to get me a special cup? I would love a special cup. Also, I missed, Floor Santucci. Have you, did you leave a message in chat? If you did and I missed it, let me know again. I'd love to know how to pronounce your name. Why can people like things that are bad for them? Yeah, that's an interesting example, too, right? It's a stereotype that, like, oh yeah, this person is really bad for me, but I keep going back to them for some reason. Oh no, they spawned in the village this time, I think. Oh lord, why did they spawn in the village? That's real unfair. I hope that wasn't an important villager. It's an easy wave of the raid, though. Yeah, I love a good easy raid. So now I'll just throw the crossbows on the ground. I wish these didn't drop. Does anyone ever want the crossbows? Has anyone ever said, like, yeah, crossbows. Glad I have 7 more of those. If you have, I'd love to hear from you. Because I don't believe that you exist. And now let's go out there and find this last wave. As long as it hasn't spawned in the village somewhere again, I think I'll be fine, though. But yeah, so there's a big trend of things being like that because we don't understand why we like the things that we like. And it's probably kind of concerning. And we don't understand why we dislike the things we dislike. Being honest with yourself that you like something that's bad for you, it's much better than what a lot of people do, which is to be like, well, it's not actually that bad. Like, really, it's not. Like people say smoking's so bad, but like, the reason I take these things every day that I get very anxious and feel terrible about when I don't have, it's because I really want to. It's just a choice that I'm not. It's an example, but I think there are lots of other more poignant things. Also, the raid bar isn't going down when I damage the mob. Is that a Java versus Bedrock thing? I'm just realizing. Anyway, this was a good raid. Enjoyed my time with it. Unless it continues. Oh, I must not be on easy. Must be on normal or something. I just always assume I'm on easy if I don't know otherwise, but apparently not anymore. Kat says her first husband took up a substantial chunk of her life. Yeah, it's a fairly common thing right? To go to have, I don't know, a mistake somewhere in there that you're like, yeah, this is just really good. And then you realize, like, wait a minute. No, that's not true. You have a bit more of a sober thought. But, you know, like, we call it, like, a sober thought. But it's actually, like, you... Also, there's a witch over there. I'm going to be very cautious of that. Oh, no, don't throw things at me, witch. I said I gave you one instruction. You can't respect my consent, so I'm not going to respect you. You know, actually, if I'm already poisoned, I might as well. I'm slowed as well, jeez. Let's burn her alive, shall we? Easy. That was actually a pretty easy sort of poison to deal with. Also, How to Minecraft 7. Toycat, help me. I've been reading bug reports for half an hour. Let me know what interesting things you found on that. Reading bug reports is such an interesting way to learn about Minecraft, in my opinion. So hopefully, you've got some new knowledge out there. But, understanding, wow, how do I get poisoned so often here? Understanding what it is that draws you to things and what it is that makes you retract away from things means that you can correct those biases. Like, the way I would describe myself, and I think maybe a lot of humans, is you have a instinctive brain, and then you have a, you know, like a monkey brain, if you will, whatever you want to call it. You have this very basic, you know, kind of reactive organism, and then you have a brain that is capable of higher thoughts, and they exist in the same head, and they share emotions. Sometimes you switch from basic thought to much more complicated thoughts. And you'll do so, you know, when a situation requires it. Sometimes you'll switch from much more complicated thoughts to basic ones. A classic example of this is crowd stampedes. When there's a bunch of people in the same space together, all of those people know that it's a really bad idea if we all crush each other to leave. If we all leave in an orderly fashion, no one has to die. But then you start thinking to yourself, like, I might not get out alive. I will die if I do not rush. When your survival is threatened, you jump into a different way of thinking. Genuinely, a whole different set of thoughts. I hope they haven't spawned in the village again. Please don't tell me it's true. Okay, they haven't. Or I don't see them. But in either case, it's basically the same. If you go back to an entirely... if you go into an entirely different way of thinking, you're gonna get slightly different outcomes. Also, I hate that they always get into this village and always crush the crops. Also, I might actually die to this fella. I've got a lot fewer health today. Okay, I'm getting out of this. So I'm just gonna keep on leaving him behind. Maybe this is a time for one of those crossbows, actually. Oh god, there's another one roaming through the village. Okay, it's times like this that I think that I should have. Oh, he's killing villagers too. He's absolutely murdering villagers. Oh, this is my death. Okay, so no, I wanted to get out there, but I'm gonna lose. Okay, I'm dead. That's my totem activated. Okay, so now I am totemless. Really didn't want to activate one, but there are pillagers in my village. This happens so alarmingly often. They shouldn't spawn in here. I've made a mistake. So the Minecraft, this is the real version of what I was just talking about that happens in Minecraft sometimes. Where as soon as my safety was threatened, my ability to think rationally has kind of gone away. And instead it's been replaced with, oh god, how do I survive? And where I could have rationally, you know, when you're thinking really rationally, you can think like, oh yeah, well, I should maybe, you know, deal with this way. Oh, so please don't come outside right now. Guys, this is the worst time to be outside. There's a raid happening. Do you see that? Do you see that on top of the screen? That means leaving the house is not good. I appreciate your rights to have freedom as much as the next person, but it's not a good time to be exercising it. Okay, let's burn another Ravager, shall we? Get some unnecessary saddles going on. No awesome green exploding graphics on Bedrock. Green exploding graphics? What graphics are you talking about? I would actually like to know. So yeah, this guy's gonna come up some hills. I'm gonna get him from back here, where it's easy. And there's no harm to be done to me. So yeah, there was a guy running around on a Ravager earlier. Where did he go? What happened? What's his story? I'm glad that my villagers inside this house are safe. But they're gonna take a while to repopulate the village now. This is a bad thing. I hate that I always get that raid effect, and then I come through this village by accident, and then it gets tied here. I wish there was a way to say to you know, Minecraft, Like, I would not like a raid in these locations. But you cannot do that. Also, it was Santa Cheat, but call me Moon. Delay is way too long, says Moonflow. Wait, says Moon, not Moonflow, just Moon. I got it. I got you. Also, whoa, what was that? Is there an Ooga Booga man? There must be, right? I heard the Ooga Booga. Where's the? Okay, you know what? We'll kill his close associate over here. Good friend. And then we'll find. Yeah, it must have been nearby if I heard it. I'd see a Vex or something at some point though, right? Oh, he's in a hole. That's why. Okay, sorry, friend. You don't deserve to die in a hole, but at the same time, I would like you to. So yeah, you know, it's okay. You're doing fine. So now there's one more mob remaining. We kill him, and then we never talk about this again because this didn't happen. It's all good. So yeah, I think there should be a method to prevent raids in specific villages. I mean, a silly idea could be if a village has a lodestone, hypothetically, that village will no longer be pillaged. Pillagers can't go there. There's some ancient magic that prevents them. Boom. Wow. Look at me. Solved it. Also, wait. Is that... Did I see something down there? No, I didn't. I think I see a villager down in the basement, right? Am I right? Am I right about that? What am I seeing all the way down at the bottom of this? Yeah, I see a villager. What are you doing down here? This is... Did you get lost? You know, I'm happy for him. He's allowed to do that. Hopefully he didn't lose any good librarians. Yeah, this village... I don't know what I even use this village for. If I'm being totally honest with you, there's a good reason. I use it for... Well, nothing anymore, apparently. So, I mean, I did use it at some point for something. So, I'm just gonna go find this last pillager. He's around here somewhere. I'll find him. But yeah, understanding what it is that makes you feel compelled to buy something sometimes even is valuable, right? Because then you can counteract it. You can work out, if you just know that like, oh yeah, I want this thing because I think that people would think better of me if they knew that I had something rare and expensive, then work out that actually the need that you're missing is the need for, like, I don't know, like, it sounds offensive to say, like, the need for validation sounds like a bad thing. It sounds like some terrible set of words, like, oh, you need validation? That's so needy. But it's better to know you need validation than to say needing validation is wrong and then need it and then hide that from yourself. I think one of the to try and again pin this on myself. It's easy to talk negatively in the abstract, but I think I would describe myself as like easily hurt. I think if you know, like if I trust you and you break that, you know, that trust, it genuinely hurts me in a way that it seems as though most people don't seem to function by. Like I'll see some like huge betrayal and someone will be like, oh, that sucks. And it's like, no, that really sucks, right? You must feel terrible. So one of your friends just spoke terribly about you in front of everyone else so he could get a laugh. Like, how are you just letting this happen? Just standing by as this goes on? Also, where is this last guy? I could leave the raid going forever. Yeah, actually, if I leave the raid going forever and he's not anywhere important, that would be a raid protection system. I'm also easily hurt, says Dasher. It's I believe the you can call it neurotic, sensitive. You can call it. There's a lot of different words. Like, yeah, that's fun. There's a lot of words I've heard used to describe it, but it's if you, rather than saying it's bad and therefore I'm not bad and therefore it's not me, if you just say that's how I am. How do you become not that? You know, like, start with the point that you are there. If you really want to not be it so bad that you won't admit it to yourself, how do you not? And it's funny because inside your brain you don't talk about it that way. Instead you'll talk about it as like, oh yeah, well, it's probably just, you know, it's just people are extra bad. But if you start to talk about it as if people are extra bad, then you'll believe there's so much villainy in the world. And you know, it's easy enough to believe there's villainy and terrible people You know, there's already enough of that actually existing without having to hype it up some more so that you can convince yourself, like, it's actually everyone else's issue, not you. Also, I am sensitive too, says Renee. Also, IDK man. Get wood and sponge. Thank you, Alyssum. I was totally going to forget the wood. I remember the sponge, thankfully, but not the wood. Also, I got so many emeralds from that. If you want emeralds, just fight raids. That's always the conclusion I come to. Also, I got a, whoa, look at this book I got, chat. See, this is, in the Let's Play world, this is no value to me. But in the more general sense, that's incredible. Wow. Let's sort this away nicely. Where is protection? There's nope, this can't be protection. I've made some terrible mistake. So that must be protection. Did I label the books incorrectly? This must be piercing, right?
First ever super chat despite watching since I was like 13 LMWoo. I'm 18 now, so feel old yet. Spending my money recklessly as an adult carrot.
Wait, did it say carrot? What was the, how did it read that? So, yeah, I was actually just talking about this today. I met up with Deshi, who works on maps for the for Toy Maps, and I mentioned how one of the weird things about doing YouTube for so long, it's I've been doing this for quite some time. One of the odd side effects of that is that people will be like, oh yeah, I used to love this at this age. I've been watching you since I was blank. I remember a situation like that at 4J with someone who was like, yeah, love your videos since I was 10. It wasn't to me, it was to someone nearby me. And I was like, wow, you are a full adult working on the game that you used to watch this person play. Like, the dynamics of that confuse me. They mess me up. It's like, wow, that's confusing. It's weird to think that someone who was like in their early 20s when I started, you know, watching internet content at 13 is now, you know, heading towards their late 40s. You know, like they're either family men or they're never becoming family men, maybe. It's a really interesting. To me, it's really, really, really interesting. The fact that people age. This is how centric of yourself the world can be sometimes. Is like you age every single year and you're pretty aware of how old you are. Like I'm 28. I haven't really come to terms with the fact that I'm getting closer to 30 than 20. I think I'm turning 29 this year. I'm gonna be substantially closer to 30 than 20. I haven't come to terms with that fact properly because like but you know, like I understand that I am. I turned 21 7 years ago. I turned 18 10 years ago. I can come to terms with those facts, right? And so oh, sorry, we need wood. Okay, we're going for the wood chest. I don't need much wood. But I've said I don't need much wood every other time, and then I've needed more wood. But let's just take 9 wood. Let's regret the amount of wood we're not bringing. In fact, actually, let's take a look real quick at the world. So, I love to always have a reference image of some form. T1 tutorial world village. I always have to find my own. I always have to watch my own video because it's the only place you can realistically find it. Okay, here we go. Here's a weird Planet Minecraft version of it, and we take that and we'll put this in the corner over here. Oh yeah, so there's a big wooden house with some cobblestone in the corner there that I need to work on, and then it's also a very layered mountain to the left, and then to the right it's also quite a layered up mountain. And there's also a lot of flowers on the ground, but that's a problem for future me. So now we'll take some sponges. Not many sponges, I don't think. We'll just take some sponges. I've got a lot of wet sponges already, but let's add to that count. We'll take a full stack of sponges, and we'll bring them back dry, hopefully. Or maybe I should just start drying some sponges now, maybe even. Nah. No, yeah, let's dry some sponges. Let's throw a wet sponge in the furnace. Get some great experience out of that later. Future me will appreciate it. I'm gonna do a good job for him. But yeah, I use corals in place of the flowers. Oh, I like that idea a lot actually. If it's underwater, use corals as a replacement for flowers. I really like that idea. Not gonna do it, I don't think. But I like the idea. And then we need a lot more cobblestone because I need enough cobblestone for this whole kind of left area to have a weird, I think there's an iron door in there even. There's some glass, there's some, how much more cobblestone do I even have? So there's no cobble in there. There's no cobble in here. I'm all out of cobblestone on this side of my world. It's one of those blocks that you don't ever think you're using too much of, and then you find out that you use it everywhere. So yeah, we're now going to leave that be, get some cobblestone from somewhere else, and focus on the sponging for now, I guess, and also the dirt. I've been here since I was 48 years old. Do you feel older now? No, because you look exactly 48 and a half now, Polly E. I don't know how long ago that was, but I hope that's a compliment. See, this is how you compliment old people. You say, "Wow, you look young," and the way you compliment young people is you say you look old. The real truth here is everyone's trying to look about 18 to 25. Once you get past that point, your life's entirely downhill, internet. But no, yeah. So everyone, I think one of the weird things about how self-centered people are without realizing is that you're very aware that you are aging every year. But that means that everyone else in the world, every single human being that exists, is also getting older. You calling me old? How rude. You know, you don't look a day over 28 and a half, is what I meant to say. I misspoke, Polly E. I misspoke. Actually, I just to clarify, I don't actually see any. The chat is a tiny corner of my screen there. I don't see any of these profile pictures very well. I see that some people have big letters for theirs, but I assume those are automatic YouTube ones. I'm excited to get older. You know, if we were all excited to get older, then, I don't know, that might be a good thing. So let's now sponge up the water in this house. Oh yeah, we can just do that. That's kind of fun. That's charming, isn't it? Look at this, we can... It feels a bit ridiculous. And we're gonna have to place some water back there. Oh, that's not what I wanted at all. So place some water there, maybe? Yeah, there we go. So we'll just sponge up all the insides of these houses. And it'll be a bit confusing. But also, you know, it makes sense. The doors would keep the water out of the houses. If you just look at it logically, it totally makes sense. I'm really not sure if this also is this build, because the tutorial world was so long ago and now it's underwater because of the levels rising. Oh, I didn't see your username there, but yeah, that's the very vague idea I'm going for. If I to try and loosely explain it, I really loved. It blew my mind when I played the Wind Waker for the first time, a Legend of Zelda game. And at the end of the game, they're like, yeah, this used to be Hyrule from the previous games, but the sea level just rose, and so now all the islands that make up the world are just the peaks of previous mountains. That, like, blew my mind. Maybe because I'm a geography nerd, maybe, who knows for sure, but I thought that was really fun as a narrative mechanism. And, okay, so now once this goes out a bit, we kind of have it go back in a bit more. And then there's a flat area over here, sort of. So this stays flat, and kind of goes inwards as flat. And then after this, there's a big hill that develops, on top of which there is going to be a bunch of wood here. Also, by the way, I brought too little wood again. I'm just realizing now I need some wood for this little mine entrance, but that's fine. We don't need to focus too much. This is the OG archaeology, says Lil Miss Trebles. Yeah, I really love, this year will be 43 for me. But do you ever consider that, like, yeah, so your parents get older every year? It's like a depressing thing. Sorry, I'm immune from this now. As, you know, what's the word? I looked it up recently. It's, adult orphan, maybe? But as someone who is parentless, I can confidently say, that, you know, all of your problems, not mine. But, like, yeah, every year your parents get older. And it's like, at first that's like, oh yeah, so they get like wiser or something like that. But at some point it gets sad. You're like, oh yeah, people that you thought were like decrepitly old, that's the age your parents are at now. The age your grandparents were at when you're a child eventually become the age your parents are at. Eventually they surpass it, right? You make me want to play Zelda now, says Shy Guy. You know, it's a very rational feeling to want to play Zelda. Not gonna, just gonna say, very valid. You'd be entirely correct in wanting to play some. So yeah, there's a big wall that kind of just generates right here. It goes up at least 2 blocks everywhere. It's kind of cobblestone a bit more over here, so I'm gonna, yeah, we'll leave it to the right of that. But to the left of this, just big wall, comes out of nowhere, and then goes a few blocks deep. But after, or it doesn't even go a few blocks deep, it goes like a block in, maybe a second block in. And then we're going up a whole extra layer. Nice and simple. Also, here's a good philosophy question. Is the Minecraft world flat? No. Easy. Sorted. I hope I get wiser as I age and not just get dementia. Dementia's like, see, that's an interesting point, right? That's to kind of go back to the dark comedy thing. One of the few things I kind of got from there's a show on Netflix called Afterlife. One of the points I got from it is that like because you know the joke it's a bunch of like not really that great jokes. It's one of those shows that I watched for an embarrassingly long amount of time before concluding like I don't know if I like this. But one of the points it kind of takes is like yeah you gotta laugh at the serious things, and it is you know for better or worse like an important part in my opinion of basically anything serious is like if you cannot laugh at the serious thing, it means the serious thing is of a hugely different level. And what if getting dementia is fun? There's a real possibility. I don't think it's a very high one, but I bet you could be having a really great time on the inside there, and the whole outside world doesn't know about it. It's exceedingly unlikely. It's very likely that you have flashes of remembering and it being sad. If you want a more serious take on it, if you don't like laughing about things, you want to have serious bad feelings. There's a BoJack Horseman episode about BoJack's mother who gets some form of dementia, and it goes hard on the idea of like you know like remembering things, then getting it mixed up with the past, and then not quite knowing what's happening, and having sudden sober flashes before losing it again. It's a wonder your brain ever works correctly at all. I do think it's a scary concept. Also, I'm gonna be 39, July 15th. Sad face, this shy guy. Hey, it's a good month to be born. It's a good month to be born. Man, watching BoJack was an experience. It's fun to me. Like people think of cartoons as being such a you know like non-serious medium, but I think they can be used to tell some of the most serious stories. Again, partially because of like how comedy is so useful for that. But also, there's a bit more to it. I've been saying for a while. I've been saying this about like lots of people will use Minecraft as a way to tell very basic, or you know like there's like a certain thing you expect from it. One of the things I think a lot of people liked about you know the weird server experiments and political stuff from 2019 that I think we can revisit now that things are done. Is like, yeah, what if there's like a serious message behind the Minecraft? One of the reasons I think people come to these streams is like, yeah, actually, you can have very, very serious talks while playing the game. In fact, that's why is that not more normal? But yeah, so I have been working on something. I'm not one of those people who likes to. One of the weird things about working in any field, I'm sure everyone has felt this on something, whether it's like a school project or something like that. But if you've ever, also, a drowned, oh, it's not a sword, it's a trident. Okay, I thought that was a sword. I was gonna question the drowned with the sword, but it was a drowned with a trident, which is substantially more logical, if more annoying. But let's go to sleep before any of this gets me. So, Minecraft is deep in romanticizing loneliness, says Xian Nail. Yeah, there's a lot of things that you could argue Minecraft gives credit to. I wouldn't say unfair credit, but Minecraft is a game about self-sufficiency. You never need anyone else in Minecraft. When you find other people in Minecraft, you can choose to work with them, against them, whatever else. How did a creeper spawn in there? It's always a creeper, always in this pen. Never what I want in my world. Okay, so there's also a skeleton there, I think I just saw. Nope, I imagine the skeleton. We're good. So we'll put all the bones in, and then some bows as well. We can combine them if we want later. And also this iron pickaxe. It's an odd thing to find, so I'll just whip it in there, and future me can question what it was there for. Yeah, Minecraft is a game that kind of goes a lot about self-sufficiency and the idea that you don't need anyone. Like romanticizing loneliness wrongly isn't correct in my opinion. I think it shows you the valid side. Like if I could be, you know, to expose my opinions on it. I don't think it's a bad thing to say, yeah, actually, being comfortable with, you know, being comfortable being by yourself is a good thing. And if there's a game that actively encourages that, then that is no bad thing in my mind. I would say that, yeah, I'm a fan of that as a concept. I like the idea of a game actively going out there and saying, yeah, what if you spend some time by yourself? What if you really started to contemplate? Also, I didn't say romanticizing. That was a bad thing though, lol. Also, exploring in Minecraft used to be a lot more fun. Did it used to be more fun because the game was different, or did it used to be more fun because you're different? It's kind of that thing about, like, it's a hard one to put your finger on, because it's so much easier to blame the world always, and I feel this too, especially, like, when you look at the development for the future, it is actively going down a different path. So it's hard not to point some fingers and say, well, you know, we can say whatever we think about this, but, like, it literally is being developed in a different way now. But ultimately, one of the bigger reasons that it probably feels different to you is not because it is different, necessarily, although, you know, that may and probably is true on some level too. But it probably feels different because you've changed. Once you have, or it's not even that you change, it's that you experience the same thing again. One of the harder things to accept about yourself. Again, it makes you. It can. I feel like it makes me feel like a bad person if I'm like, if you're doing something really, really fun, but you're doing it for the 100th time, you might feel like that thing is significantly less fun. It's very normal, in fact, to feel like that thing is significantly less fun. But it still doesn't make you feel any better about the fact that it doesn't feel fun. So yeah, this slowly comes inwards here. There we go, build that outward, and then we'll make this a lot wider, and then we'll make this a lot wider. Yeah, as you are changing, as you know more about Minecraft, the wonder of the world is partially removed. As you experience the same thing over and over again, its effect is lessened. I think something about this that's interesting is the idea of, like, I don't know, time off, holiday, whatever you want to call it. One of the things I think is true about me, I think it's true for a lot of people, but I'm not inside your head, so I can't be sure, is that people are fairly sure that the thing they want most in their life is a perpetual holiday. What they want is time off and more of it, all of it. I do think that, like, it's probably healthy if everyone had this full realization on their own behalf. But I think you get bored quite quickly. I think you start to feel unfulfilled. I think not having something to add to the world. I spoke about this with I have a relative who just really burnt out of their job recently. They're like, yeah, working sucks objectively. They're really out of love of work. They got into a field that they thought they'd make a big difference in, but they just don't feel good about it. They did everything they could to find a fulfilling role, and they feel like it sucks. And so they've kind of concluded, like, yeah, so work just sucks. That is the only logical way out. And I kind of think there's probably some truth to that. If you're curious, I got a cousin. Actually, you know, maybe I'm not. Maybe I've got to be cautious about that. But I've got a family member. They're working in, you know, with mental health stuff. It's like very important. They work for a charity. Something. There's a lot of other words in there, but they really believe in what they're doing. But then they don't actually like it. They find it to be actually deeply unfulfilling, and they believe that, like, actually all work must be like that. And I think one of the weird things about it is any job where you are doing something that seems like it doesn't matter, you're going to feel bad. If the traditional job that people always give for this is like fast food or a supermarket or something. Like, yeah, if you work in a supermarket, then you know that you don't show up, and you know that if you don't show up, the supermarket's still open. Everyone gets exactly what they want. You can tell yourself that like, oh yeah, well actually, it's really important that I be there for blah, 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 blah. But seemingly, it all just seems to run anyway. It all just seems to happen just great. And there's something demotivating about that. Like, knowing that you are required is something I think a lot of us want. I think it's a very normal human feeling to want to matter, to want people to potentially miss you if you're not there. You know, something that I felt like really guilty about for years. Maybe this is something deep in me. Is this normal to feel guilty about? I used to see people come back with a cast from like the hospital. You know, like someone broke a bone when I was like 8, and I remember thinking like, man, I am so jealous. I wish I broke a bone. Everyone's signing their casts and everyone's saying nice, and all they'd have to do is break a bone. That's all. I've never broken a bone. I feel like I do an above average number of dangerous things in my life. But the closest I've ever gotten is I fractured a bone, maybe. But then another doctor said I didn't fracture a bone. But I got the strong painkillers, and I definitely needed them one time. But yeah, I think that. Sorry, little bit of a tirade there. I have to say, by the way, you painkillers very dangerous. I had a recent close experience of someone who lots of painkillers. Bad, by the way. Also, how did you fracture a bone? I don't like to tell people because, like, I'm a big advocate for e-scooters, but the way I fractured a bone was an e-scooter. And if I tell people that, then people aren't going to want e-scooters. They're going to say they're dangerous, and they're going to say, well, you can't be trusted to ride one. And just because they're right doesn't mean that's a thing. I really wanted attention as a kid. Gotta admit it. Yeah, one of the things, one of the weird things, I have a YouTuber friend. I went to his house for his. I was gonna say for it's birthday. His birthday is basically Christmas. It sucks to be him, but I went to his house for Christmas, and one of the things that his parents were saying. I met his parents. They like me. I like them. But one of the things that his parents said is like, oh yeah, he used to love jumping in front of the camera. He was one of those kids, and I was too. Whenever there was a camera, I was like, yeah, record me. It's like, yeah, I want some attention, right? I think it's very, very normal, maybe, to want attention, but also it's one of those things you're not meant to admit, right? It's like, ooh, you want attention? That's a bit of a needy thing for you to be saying out loud, but also an incredibly normal thing. You might argue to actually want. So I'm gonna place a wood there, and then I'm gonna break into my own house, and I'm gonna get these sponges back. Very lovely. You know, having dry inside houses, it feels weird. It feels like I've got to take advantage of this in some way, but I have no idea what that way would be. You know, let's put that purple carpet down, just in case anyone comes through here. Let's let them enjoy the 2 purple carpet spots. You know, in 6 months, someone will be playing around the Let's Play world, and they'll be great. Also, now I jump in front of a camera. Also, is it a yeah? So CC2510, you might want some attention from the camera, and it's weird because again, people will tell you, especially as a child, they'll be like, yeah, you're not meant to want attention. Wanting attention is bad, and so you internalize that. And, you know, you hear about attention seekings, and attention seeking is a bad thing, by the way. And you're like, oh, so attention seeking is bad, therefore I don't want attention because I'm not bad. But it's okay to be like, I want attention, so I should do things that are worthy of attention. One of the things that gets a lot of critique is this idea of YouTubers who will donate to charity solely so that they can say they donated to charity, to either make up for something bad they did, or to, like, bring attention to their stream, or whatever it is. And there's a lot of critique about this. A lot of people criticize it and say, you're not giving money to charity because you care, you're giving it to charity because you want attention. And it's like, that's awesome. If you, there's a common meme that people share about the idea of like, you know, you shouldn't be able to be a billionaire. If you get more than 999 million, we take away the rest of your money and we say that you won and we give you a trophy. And like, you know, like a lot of people find that and they go, well, you know, the trophy sounds pretty good. I want to be a billionaire just for the trophy too. But ignoring the weird policy idea behind it, there is a there is a thing to that of like a lot of in the UK we have you can be very wealthy, and that is one of the ways that you can feel very successful. But unlike in our like I don't know, our United Statesian Breverian's equivalent country, it's not just about being really wealthy and then I don't know having some PR. It's that you can actually be knighted. You know, you become Sir, officially Sir blank blank blank. And you can get, I think it's called an OBE, an Order of the British Empire. I don't know why, I don't know what values these have in your day-to-day life. But it'd be pretty cool, right? To be like, yeah, I am a good person, and I've got this award that says so. The whole reason that, if you think about Oscars and Grammys and Streamies and whatever else they're called these days, what are the Nickelodeon ones called? There's a Nickelodeon version of these. But the reason these all... also, I think this should probably start to like curve off to the side here, and then eventually connect to this. Yeah, this is all going to have to eventually go underground, right? So this is going to have to extend a lot across to here, and it's going to be tricky, but we'll make it work. We'll use a bunch of stone too, because this is going to be a otherwise kind of hidden area. Let's connect it all up and make this seem like it's a normal thing. So fill this whole thing up. Maybe leave a gap in, because I've already got this gap. Yeah, I'll leave that gap so I can now fill everything else between it. Next time someone calls me Sir, I'm going to tell them, oh, sorry, I've not been knighted yet. You know, Dazed and Confused, you would be valid, entirely valid to do that. By the way, just to go back to your tip bug, I feel like I was a bit focused at the time. But congratulations on paying the Toycat tax. It's one of the great honors. You are now Sir Bug, now that you have paid it. I think that status has a lot of value to people. I think that it's effectively you want someone to say, look how good you are. And it shouldn't be that shameful to say. I think there is maybe some tact to how you want it, or some tact to like why you want it maybe that we could argue you need. But it shouldn't be a shameful just be like, yes, I would like it. I would like for people to value the things that I do every day. I would like, you know, and especially if it encourages people to do good things, like if the charity gets a bunch of money because someone is like, I need to give to charity to people that think that I'm doing real good, awesome. You just saved 500 people's lives so that people will think you're good. Heck yeah, everyone should do that. We'd save the world in no time. Also, what's the drink today? I had a peanut butter milk stout, but I don't like any of those words. And so now I'm drinking some sparkling iced tea from my Belgian friend. Oh, he's the one, the YouTuber friend, from his birthday. Also, how is OBE even still a thing? What empire is there anymore? I think it's one of those like historical titles. Basically, any award has to play into its historicalness, right? You've got to be like, you would have the same award as this famous person had, and then you simplify down the fame that Michael Jackson had, not to the fact that he was beloved by tens of millions, but instead the fact that he won a Grammy. Has Michael Jackson won a Grammy? I don't know what Grammys are, if you can win them, if you're just a big singer. Did Michael Jackson win a Grammy? Oh, he won a lot of them. Yeah, so he won 8 in one night. Is that fame? Is that a lot? Do you want that many? But yeah, so all of these awards exist so that people can be like, it's not just about, you know, the goal is not just to make stuff that a lot of people like. Because, you know, on YouTube, I've kind of, like, to talk something very serious and try to make this a close to home thing with some real stakes. On YouTube, I have the real possibility every single day of waking up and saying, why am I making the videos that I make right now? Why don't I make the ones that make me, you know, 4 times as much money? Sure, I would have to change the audience and have Elsa in the thumbnails. Also, thank you, Darren Hughes. Appreciate the gifted memberships. Hope you're doing very desert well today. Also, thank you to Jay Cholton. If you could prestige after making 1 billion, then starting at 0 with nothing but an exclusive title, do you think anyone would? I think that would genuinely make people madder. I don't know for sure. I'm not, you know, like I'm not I'm not in charge of people's lives and their decisions that they make yet. Yeah, I think the people would get way madder if you could, and because think about the number of tens of billionaires there are now. Like there's thousands of people who have 10 digits worth of net worth. As frivolous as an idea as that is, but if so you'd have people who have prestige multiple times, and you'd have people would be criticizing the prestige system as much as they'd be criticizing the individual practices of the people who made the money. But yeah, I feel like it'd be funny. I would love to see it. I feel like we should have more systems in our society that are based on Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. For example, I'm really proud of Russia getting involved and realizing, we haven't been a villain for a while, but I've been playing this Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, and I realized the Spetsnaz sure is a cool title. I'm loving this little hammer and sickle. We should bring that. Why did we get rid of the hammer and sickle? Do we stop caring about farmers and workers? I don't think so. Therefore, let's get it going again. I'd be a great person in charge of the PR department over at Russia. When real life imitates a cookie clicker. Hey, thank you also, I love that. All the gifted members, hope you're enjoying your newly found membership wealth. So I'm gonna place some grass blocks over there, and then we're gonna grab some stone. And then I need to go grab some cobblestone. Do 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 do. Does anyone else know how to get a parrot off you? Is water the only way? I think you can jump. That's what I usually do. If you jump or fall off a ledge, it's one of the two. It should help you out. So I'm gonna place some grass over here now. I'm gonna place some grass over here. And then I'm gonna place some grass over here. And then one more piece over here. And we'll see if that helps this all to spread. I love how many salmon there are swimming around here. Don't get me wrong. Very, very much love the salmon. But it does make it feel a little bit less like it's flooded and more like it's just ocean. I was thinking what might be fun is if we we could have it... no, I think this is what we're going to do. So here's what it looks like now. I think I should make a pathway through here. Like the gravel path which currently goes to there. There should be some link between that and here. Right now, it's just a bunch of dirt. Can you make pathways underwater? You can't. Did you know that, chat? I guess you can go make pathways from grass. And that's why. We can place a bunch of grass underwater, or a bunch of pathways underwater. I think that's what we might have to do. Like, there's going to be something that makes you come out here and go, oh, tutorial world sure's taking a bit of a beating, huh? Maybe there should be a little hill here that you climb up on. I could see that being useful. Like, imagine, I'll just make it out of gravel first. We can always fill it in later. So we got a little hill that you come up on. Looks like this. And then you go up and you're like, oh, it's the tutorial world, but there's an iceberg there now. Global warming, am I right? Speaking of global warming and being right, Ghost! I picked up reading Aristotle. I picked up reading Aristotle that we should generally encourage people to donate, even if it's for attention. It gets people in the habit of doing good. Yeah, the type of person who's like, oh, I only do good deeds privately when no one is looking. And don't ask me when I last did one, because if I told you, I'd be ruining it. Those people are the, I think there's a lot of people who are very critical of others, specifically because they are, okay, so a lot of people will convince themselves the only reason they would do good, or rather they would do good if they had a lot of stuff, but if anyone else is doing good, it's because, some other ulterior motive. If you take someone who is comparable to them and say, yeah, this person is doing some real good stuff, it's almost a criticism of them. You're saying, what? Why are they doing so good and you're not? Also, this is meant to connect into... Oh, no, this is allowed to be this high. So then we'll build this going up somewhere after we build another one of these. So this is going to be a cave, which is also going to be underwater. Maybe the cave shouldn't be underwater, actually. I'm not too sure about this yet. But, yeah, there should be another house over here also. I don't think one's going to fit, though. So I could build, like, a miniature house, or I could just say, oh, no house. It's gone. Let's ignore it. Also a valid option. You can always just ignore things. But yeah, I think that if we encourage people to get in the habit of doing good things for bad reasons, they might just start enjoying the good things. If you say that only really good people can do good things, a lot of people might not do the good things, and then the good things don't happen. It's interesting how it's almost, it genuinely is addicting to do good things for the world. Like just something as simple as like, I don't know, like you pick up some litter and you're like, ah, yeah, my community's like a little bit nicer now. That's cool. I did something that takes me like no effort, and I get those like little good vibes that I did something. You ever go to a store and they have the little button that's like, would you like to give a pound, you know, to help, you know, like, I don't know, volunteers in Ukraine? Would you like to give a pound to help homeless people? Oh, we'll just assume that you do. Also, my good deed, adoration, please. Okay, everyone right now, praise Cat Beanie. Not only is she here helping out the stream of the chat, but also tipping, you know, giving real world money that I can spend on kebabs and bad drinks. Everyone say nice things to Cat right now. That even if it was for the adoration, it would still be a good thing, right? I think it's one of the things I think is useful to encourage when it comes to, like, I don't know, funding YouTubers and streamers you like. It's okay if you do it because you love the art and you want to see more of it, whatever. It's okay if you do it because you're like, oh yeah, I have this desire to see more. Like, I know some people would call it a selfish desire. I wouldn't. To be like, if you find yourself in a situation where you, so what is this? What is, oh, it's just a random Nevrak. If you find yourself in a situation where you're like, yeah, I would like to ensure there are more of these things that I like to watch. You know, like it's okay to support something for that reason. It's okay to support something you like, because you're like, yeah, well, it will show up somewhere. That's why so many YouTubers have like a perk, like at the end of the video, every Patreon supporter shows up on screen briefly. It's a fun, tiny little reward, and if it makes people do something great, is it really something anyone can hate? Also, there's so much raw beef around here. Let's pick it up. Let's take it somewhere that we can turn it into something useful. Why do I even have these random holes in this? I really do have to question that. But yeah, let's jump outfit. Yo, true, says Z-Man1064. It's so much of life. Again, in the real world, I would say, you know, you can in the fake world, because you know, there's definitely a lot of fake world out there. But in imaginary pretend land, you can say, yeah, things that are second best are bad because they make people complacent and make them stop wanting first best. There's a lot of people who, you know, like a lot of people would very strongly argue that, you know, maybe rightfully so, that if we all start accepting second best, then now the world never gets to pure best. There's a theory called accelerationism, which I think is fascinating. It's people who want to make things worse, because when things get really bad, from there, they'll get better faster. Or are people who are like willing to accept that things might need to get worse to get better. Might be a more charitable term. My life is complete, says Z-Man1064. You know what, congratulations on being verified by YouTube. That's gone a lot harder these days, I think. Could be wrong, but that's how I understand things from the modern YouTuber understanding of it. But yeah, let's put the sponges in here. I'm slowly gonna dry these off, by the way. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna get the tiniest amounts of experience for it. Yep, look, that was basically nothing. But I will have a full sugar box full of sponges, which would be nice. Someone asked me to donate to a dog charity because everyone loves dogs, and I looked at them and said, sorry, I don't like dogs, and walked away. Lol, says Poly. That's the strategy. It's the one I'm always recommending. Is in London, especially Shoreditch Station. I had it today. 5 people. They look at you like zombies trying to infect a crowd. They're like, oh, hello, madam. Do 10 words for you, and everyone has to be like, sorry, I don't want to do this today. You have to ignore them. You have to make them feel like they are making your day worse, because they are. But there's a bunch of people who are like, yeah, so how do you feel about this thing? How do you feel about knife crime? And it's like, I'm pretty pro knife crime, honestly. I do believe there are too many people. Maybe if we knife some people, the numbers go down. Like, I know, I was thinking about something yesterday, actually, because there was a really horrific, I feel like every day there's, like, some horrific stabbing in London, but there was one that was, like, there was a pretty bad one. That was, like, man, one of the problems we have as a species is for some reason we just want to kill each other. Like, we can talk about how to ban the weapons, because there's always like, you know, knives aren't legal to carry in the UK, but people do it anyway. It's crazy. Well, people who want to stab people do it. My first Toycat tax of 2024. Thank you, Lyrics Cat. Wait, Lil Rix Cat, not Lyrics Cat. You're not a cat who's got some sick beats to share. Instead, you are a Rix Cat. You seem like you're a lord somewhere. You know, I actually own a square foot of land in Scotland, and according to my sponsor message this week, if you own a piece of land in Scotland, you too can experience the joy of becoming a laird or lady. All you've got to do is go to linkindescription.com/toycat. And you know what's funny about that though? So that is a scam. Everyone's aware of it at this point. I think what was it called? Established titles. But again, to play devil's advocate, if you believe you are a lord versus if you are a lord, what difference does it make? Like how does it actually change? What is different in your life from believing you are a lord because of some piece of paper versus actually being a lord because of a piece of paper? Which one, like, if you don't intend to use the land, which is the defining characteristic of a lord, then does it matter if the title is real or fake? If you believe you're a lord, do you need to pay some money to some company? I think that's the clever thing about companies though, right? Like, to be cool or whatever, do you need to pay money to an electric tool company who make yellow tumblers or red tumblers? I think the new one's pink, right? But like, do you have to, like, if you, you know, like, if you're already pretty cool, you don't need to spend, you know, money convincing people. But, you know, like, but yet people will say, well, if I buy the product, it represents that I am unique and I can do something that very few could. I know, like, similar equivalents would be, I feel like there's so many examples of like, oh yeah, you gotta convince people that your stuff is very, very unique. Also, are you in Pets at Home? I'm not in Pets at Home. Although, you know, Pets at Home is a misleading name because that store is never located in someone's house. In the UK, there's a store called Pets at Home. If you are not in the UK, that joke makes no sense to you. Just trust me when I say, very, very good joke if you're not. So now make some more gold. We have ran out of space for emerald blocks, so we'll just make these back down. What should I start spending my emeralds on, chat? I've got too many of them. I've got to do something with these at some point. I can't leave them all hanging around. Gotta work out some solution. Also, if I kill someone with the follow at ibxtoycat stick, what do you think happens to it? Maybe one of the employees at Pets at Home is legally required to live there to make it home. AJ Ballistic, that's a good theory. You know, like, do you ever see every employee walk home? Have you followed every single employee home from Pets at Home? I haven't yet, and so therefore it's entirely possible that they do in fact all actually live there. You know, this is a revolutionary thought actually. Maybe Pets at Home is one of the, you know, we'll have to do some independent research and verify that one. But for now, let's put some squid ink away. I'm gonna go sell my eggs just to make them go away from here. I think I should have set up like a more complex system of hoppers and eggs and shulker boxes or something, but I didn't. So Cat, it's been 130 minutes. No, I think, wait, has it? Nah, it's barely been an hour. How many minutes has it been? I don't want to mislead you. Oh no, yeah, we're good. It's been 100 minutes. You're bad at maths, but it's okay. You know, like, I think, okay, so we're gonna put our ink sac away. We did that, and then I'm gonna put this crossbow on the ground. I don't think I need the crossbow, so I'm just gonna put it on the ground. And I'm gonna go sell some eggs, and then we're gonna come back with some wood and some cobblestone. So sell the eggs, come back with cobblestone. I can do that. That's easy. That's very, very achievable. Also, hi, bye if I say in stream, but I'm going to go play Lego Banned Word. Is Fortnite banned on this channel? That's funny if so. I could believe it, but also it sounds very funny to check. Also, did Q&A Sasta go live? I imagine it did. Oh, no, it didn't. Oh, it's... Wait. No. Okay. How come you have not changed your logo, says Richard Tridmarsh. It's a traditional logo. Why haven't you changed your last name? You know, your last name's been getting stale. You've had it for 30 years. See that, by the way? That's something I think is common in people. It's like, if you... The whole protecting your identity is like, if someone insults you in a way, if someone says something about you that you believe not to be true, either the thing is true and they're saying it, you know, like in some valid way, they're asking a question that has a valid underlying point, or they're asking a question with an invalid underlying point because they're stupid and you need to let them know. Oh, Lego Star Wars, not Lego Fortnite. Oh, man, I want to play, has anyone got any experience with the rhythm game version of Fortnite? I've heard there's one of those on there. I've heard anyone can make a Fortnite game too. I don't know if that's true, but I've heard that you get paid every time someone plays it. Yeah, no idea if there's truth to it, but it sounds fun. Fun fact, MAF stands for mental attacks targeting humans. That is a factually true piece of information, and you can't disprove that. That's for sure. I'm gonna sell so many eggs. Yeah, eggs are such a good source of... Like, they're such a messy source of inventory space. But if you have the eggs, they turn into real good things. I think I have some... oh, yeah, I do. Plenty of eggs. And I'll use these to cure up the rest of my tools. My netherite pickaxe is just always dying. I do too many things with it. It's my problem, really, I know. But, yeah, let's sell some more. And we'll come pick up the stuff tomorrow. Because let's go. Doctor Who would be better if the TARDIS was made out of cake. You know, Dan Marsh, sometimes, like, I feel like you've got, like, a 50-50 ratio but between saying, like, oh, yeah, that's an interesting fact, and, like, did that come out of an AI prompt generator? Is it, like, you know, like, subject could be made more noun, or rather adjective, if it was more of an unrelated noun? Like, where did that set of words come from? How did you possibly piece that sentence together? How does that happen? I've seen so many TARDIS cakes. Yeah, one of the weirdest things about being British is that that Doctor Who is like a quirky show for people to like overseas because it is British. It's like people are like, yeah, I like this show. It's kind of weird and foreign, but you can't. You know, that, like, anything that only works because it's British because it's foreign doesn't work when you're from the UK, because it's like, well, it's actually very mainstream here. It's like, maybe mainstream in, like, a teenage audience, but, like, it still is very, it's not an odd thing to like it. Also, I've got to buy the golden carrots every day. I'm going to keep remembering to do that, because you get some nice XP for it, too. And, yeah, that's all I'm going to do today. I picked up the stuff. I'm gonna pick up any cobblestone I have here. I bet there's some lying around in a chest somewhere. It's funny, I just passed a chest full of cobblestone tools, but there's no cobblestone in that chest. There's free cobblestone in here, I'll take it. Always valuable to get. You should get a mini bank of Toycat to store your emerald blocks in your village. Oh yeah, I can't believe I have a whole bank of Toycat and I'm not even storing my emeralds in there. So this is a great failure on my behalf. This is objectively true. I've messed up. Let's go solve that. I'm gonna go back to the bank. I'm gonna put the emerald blocks in there. It's gonna be great. Bank of Toycat gets a branch. That is a fun idea. Branch of the bank. Yeah, I feel like a second branch of the Bank of Toycat's a fun idea. What is that shulker box, lol? You know, okay, I've been ignoring this shulker box for too long. I'm gonna do this, chat. I'm gonna sort this shulker box out. So here's how I recommend sorting things like this. Okay, so we're gonna clear up a row of my inventory. That was easy. I'm gonna place down the chest over here. On that. Yeah, no, just there. And I'm gonna move everything row by row. I have no idea why this shulker box is the way it is, but I shouldn't be wasting a shulker box on something like this. This is valuable stuff, so let's just move it all across. How did these items all end up in the same shulker box? I just don't know how this happens sometimes. I've just got to accept that it did. I've got to accept that that's probably not fun. Okay, there we go. We've got a whole shulker box now. I can bring eggs in this if I want to. I can bring a lot of eggs over, actually. But yeah, I finally did it. We're good. I solved my problem. I hope you're happy. Let's get out of here. Let's skedaddle through the Toycat portal. Honestly, the Nether portal being up there has always been one of the biggest banes of my existence. I thought it'd be so clever to put the Nether portal in a big visible place, but it always takes you a little bit longer. One other thing, I've considered this actually. If I was building a world from scratch, like a brand new world, what would I do differently? And it's like, the first thing is I would get Nether portal placement down. I would make sure that that is something I had locked in. Also, is this normal survival? Define normal survival. You know, I bet you can't even. Also, I've got so many shulker boxes now. It's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing. So now let's go over to... Your build videos help me out so much. I'm surprised by how many people like them. Like, I feel like I get half, maybe literally exactly 50-50. People saying, you think you can build? And people saying, yeah, you build. Like, your ideas are so different to anywhere else on the internet, so it's really handy to me. And I think that is the most fascinating microcosm of how the internet works as a whole. By the way, I've only got 3 days till I'm going on a reasonably long trip. So my next stream might be my last stream. Wait, what day is it today? What day is it right now? What? Happy Saturday, everyone. I think my last stream is on Tuesday for like a week. So make sure you come tune in. Look at that. I've said I'd talk about philosophy. I'm just promoting my own streams. Got you here. Is this the Haiti trip, says Duncan Wall? Yeah. I'm saying it's a week, but I'm going to Haiti, so you know, might be a couple weeks. Might be a lifetime. Who knows? Depends how long the lifetime is, I guess. So I'm not going to bring that much cobblestone, but I think this amount is appropriate. And then we're also going to bring... I think I just said I wanted cobblestone, actually. It's odd that I wanted so little. No, that's okay. You know, wanting a little is virtuous. I'm also going to... Oh, yeah, this chest is a mess. And there's no sorting out that chest. I think I should make a flint chest. I think, or a flint shelter box. I've already got a flint shelter box. Oh, what am I going to do with so much flint? I think I need to make, oh god, yeah. I've got to make some fletching tables, maybe. Expand on the fletching table biome. Let's go look at that. I've got too much flint. I've got so much flint it's causing me problems. How can I solve that? Howdy, Toycat. How's the philosophizing going? Thank you all, 44 turnips. I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday evening. I'm actually doing wonderfully today. I was just thinking about the meaning of why it is that sometimes the people on the internet will talk real seriously, but they'll also promote themselves. And ultimately, it's like a self-preservation thing, right? There are only, if you don't care about yourself, then how do you expect anyone else to? But also, I think there's a more vital point in there about like, well, actually doing good things and then also having a part of you that has to do something that works on yourself is better than not doing the good things at all. Because ultimately, you know, if you think about it just a little bit, if you start to think about yourself and you only do the good things, eventually you'll run out of effort to do the good things and you'll only do the things that you need to sustain yourself. Whereas if you do the things you sustain yourself and then you also do the good things, you'll feel much better, but also you'll do more good things. That's kind of crazy if you ask me. I don't know why I have to speak fast in Southern. I feel like actual Southern is kind of talking slow, right? Like, I don't like it when people, I don't like it a lot when people come over here and they say that I got no words to say, because I got lots of words to say, like cat and dog. And sorry, this is the worst. I'm getting ear surgery, says Max in Telegram. Sorry, I said we were talking about philosophy, but then the Southern accent came in. You ever think about the philosophy of like, I've been thinking for a while about how sometimes you get hungry and then you eat and the hungry goes away. Sometimes you're not hungry, but you still crave the food anyway. I got some food in my cupboard right now. I got some Pringles. I would eat those Pringles even though I'm not hungry for Pringles right now. Okay, so I don't need to go back here, but I do need to go to my birch forest biome. Oh, but I've got to go to the bank. So I'll come to the bank after, because it's on the way back, and I'm already kind of high up. Sometimes you're hungry, but then you eat and the hunger goes away. Yeah, think about it, right? Are you really hungry if when you eat, the hungry goes away? The hungry was never a part of you. The hungry was just a thing you felt. Whereas, hypothetically, if you, I know, as an example, pure hypothetical, if you need attention, and then you receive attention, you still will need attention once that attention runs out. Maybe you need it less, maybe you feel satisfied, but it's coming right back in there. Those deeper psychological needs are like the harder ones to like truly understand, but also the more important ones to truly understand. Yeah, I think this biome. Yeah. So by the way, this is where all of my birch. This is where all my fletching tables are. Every birch tree has been replaced with these lovely fletching tables. I think the ground here, and the ground's slowly being replaced by furnaces. As you can see, it looks beautiful. I've got a great furnace biome here. It's the best furnace biome you've ever seen. I think the ground being fletching tables would be a good way to get more use out of it. Maybe the sand in this biome could be fletching tables too. Maybe I should just make a new biome for fletching tables. Maybe that's the solution to this. Maybe, yeah, I think if you made, I think that area over there, that little part of desert, or maybe that little island could be a great fletching table island. Because right now, this just kind of exists as, you know, like a place in the middle of nowhere. Could be far more fun. Also, Toycat, how are your worlds not AI generated? Yeah, if you ask an image AI to give you a Minecraft build, I think 4 desert wells sitting next to a biome made of furnaces is probably about as good as it's gonna do. Man, that's a good idea. Okay, I'm gonna ask ChatGPT right now to make me a. I'm gonna ask it to give me an idea for a new Minecraft biome. Gonna do that real quick. So, can't believe you have to log in to talk to generative AI. I thought this was the future. Is the future logging in? Apparently so. Hey, can you tell me? Hey, can you give me an idea for a new Minecraft biome? The answer is certainly. How about a Crystal Grove biome? This biome could be visually stunning and a magical area. Oh, that's actually a good idea. Filled with large glowing crystals of various colors and shapes. Here are some features and characteristics you can incorporate. Giant crystals, bioluminescent flora, crystal ores. Oh, that's a cool idea. You know what, Mojang, you should go to ChatGPT. They've got some pretty great ideas. Someone send this stream to Mojang. You know, I'm just saying, if you're Mojang and you're watching this, you get some pretty good ideas right there. I just have to say. But yeah, let's go take our emerald blocks and put them in the bank. I bet I already have some emerald blocks in the bank, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it. There's no way there's not some emeralds chilling here. So, everyone just look away. I'm gonna enter the bank vault password. Wait, actually, what I can do is so there's a very secretive method to get into the bank. And I have to keep this a secret from everyone watching. You know, otherwise the bad things could happen. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into the bank and I'm gonna show you. Also, Mojang using Bing AI and Copilot. Okay, I'm gonna find my ender chest because there'll be one nearby. There should always be an ender chest nearby. If there's not an ender chest nearby, I failed. But I think there's one in this house. So let's go in. Oh, there's no ender chest in this house. I have to walk all the way to my regular old house. Terrible. Okay, honestly, they should make a surface biome that's naturally lit up. Everyone loves lush caves for a reason. Yeah, actually, you know, okay, very good idea, Carlisle Victor. You know, not even generative AI, but totally worth considering. None of us are watching Toycat, we promise. No one sees it, therefore it's not true. Okay, so, yeah, chat. So I'm gonna go into the bank right now, and obviously we're gonna do this in absolute privacy. Oh no, I'm going through a tunnel, and the tunnel is specifically only the tunnel is specifically only affecting the Minecraft. Oh, I don't know how. Oh, I can't. Oh, it's so weird. I don't know how that happened, but but I'm in the bank now. Oh, that was weird that just as I went to go open the thing, it all happened that way. Also, why is there a... Does anyone know why I did this? Why is there a daylight sensor in... Why is this here? What could I possibly... What? Why? Okay, I'm gonna replace... Why is there a daylight detector here? What is the... To test crawling, maybe? Ah, yeah, it would have been for crawling reasons. Ah, that's it. Yeah, to crawl out of the bank of Toycat. Thank you. Okay, that's very fascinating. But yeah, so... I'm gonna store some blocks of emerald here now. I guess we can make piles of them, or... we can do the fun thing and have the inside of the tea secretly be made out of emerald. Oh, very, very, very devilishly evil. And then we'll have, I don't know, like, just a pile. There's a random block here, so we surround the random block with emerald on all sides. Then, the random pile. Now, it's a nice little random pile. Although we'll remove this block and instead just stack it up a bit more on all the other sides. And then, yeah, no, it looks great. It looks perfect. And then we got 11 more emerald blocks, but I can place those back later. So I'll place a few over here, though, anyway. Just, you know, somewhere for them to be. If anyone does come up here, they'll appreciate my random piles of emerald blocks, I'm sure. So, is this what rich people do with their money? It is widely accepted to be true. Also, why is this a thing? This is ridiculous. I've got to say, incredibly ridiculous. Most efficient method of storing, yeah, exactly. This is what rich people do with their money. They go to the roof of a bank and they hide it. Also, jump, says Hungry Warden. You know, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's take the jump. But, yeah, the point that I have been accidentally making repeatedly today, to sum it all up in one point, is that knowing yourself is hard, and yourself can be someone you think you don't like. But if you think you don't like yourself, it's worth learning what you don't like about you and fixing that. But more realistically, it's about knowing who you are and accepting and working with that. And that's probably a better way to deal with most people, but it's especially just the way you should probably deal with yourself. I have had a very wonderful evening today. Thank you for joining me for it. I will be streaming again on Tuesday, maybe also before then. I've got 3 days to cover a lot of content for the next little while. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we get up to over that. But for now, okay, I've got to store these shulker boxes too. For now, I have been ibxtoycat. This has been a little bit... Also, wait, I've got some random amethyst blocks in there. I have been ibxtoycat. This has been a live stream on the internet, and I hope that you've had a wonderful time. Oh, I haven't dealt with this yet. Let's do it later. That's Future Me's problem. And you know what else is Future Me's problem? Saying goodbye to everyone. Q&A Saturday is about to go live, I believe. And so I look forward to seeing you there for that. Because for now, I'm gonna see you next time. I think the title will probably change slightly after the stream is done, but it's fine. See you next time. Goodbye. Use the amethyst for the crystal biome. I need to make a crystal biome. That's a good idea. Crystal biome, everyone. How's it sound? Maybe we should make a real world biome that's lit up. What's the best flower for that? Like a bunch of torch flowers? Okay, no. This is over. I have a hard time saying goodbye. That's one of the things I've learned. So what I have to do is I just have to be